Hey guys, Snake Eater here. So today I have another buff concept idea, and today it's going to be Gladiator Hulk. So, update to Hulk Ragnarok, Gladiator Hulk, or G-Hulk. Hulk is my favorite champ in MCOC. He is single-handedly the reason I'm still playing MCOC to this day. He was released February 2018, and I was thinking of quitting the game around January 2018 due to boredom. However, I stayed around and played some more when Hulk was announced as a new releasing champ. Thor Ragnarok was and still is to this day my favorite MCU movie ever. So the chance to play with Gladiator Hulk in MCOC, yeah, that's badass. It is a little upsetting to see him being a little outdated in 2021 compared to other god tier science champs, especially when it comes to debuffs on the opponent. Right now, all he has is stun, heal block, and enervate. And they only trigger from special attacks and they don't last very long. He needs more debuffs, which I've added, and they trigger after certain attacks are thrown a certain number of times. They are a little random like Void's debuffs. Probably the biggest ability Gladiator Hulk has is Face Me, which activates when he takes passive damage over time effects. These effects are not really common in the game, so I took inspiration from Immortal Hulk, who damages himself. I'll explain more later. I love the idea that a champ is so strong he damages himself in battle. It's just a badass concept. I love it. Gladiator Hulk will be able to inflict debuffs on himself and convert them into passive debuffs. So those debuffs convert into passive, and those passive debuffs inflict Face Me. I want to make Face Me an ability Hulk can activate every single fight. With this update, I did not take anything away from his abilities, just added more or tweaked them slightly. Alright, so the updates. Hulk smashes the opponent with two weapons, Warhammer and War Axe. Hammer debuffs are triggered once the Warhammer smashes the opponent 10 times, and Axe debuffs are triggered once the Axe smashes the opponent 10 times. It's pretty self-explanatory. With his basic hits, certain hits, he uses the Axe or the Hammer. So there's a counter throughout the fight that'll show how many you have at that certain time, and once it reaches 10, it resets back down to 0. Hulk has a counter at all times showing how many times you have smashed the opponent with each weapon, restarting once it hits 10. Hulk's hit combo is as follow. Medium, light, 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 medium is Axe and Hammer in 1, +1 for Axe and Hammer. Then +1 Hammer, +1 Axe, +1 Axe, +1 Axe. Medium, light, 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 light is Axe and Hammer in 1, Hammer, Axe, Axe, Hammer. And his special 1 is Hammer. Special 2 is Axe, Hammer, Axe, Hammer. Special 3 is Hammer, Axe, 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 Hammer. So every time I said Axe or Hammer, that's +1 for that certain weapon on the hit counter. Once reaching 10 charges of the Axe or Hammer, debuffs inflict one of the two on the opponent randomly. Once one of the Axe or Hammer debuffs is activated, it cannot activate again until the other debuff activates as well. I'll explain more in a little bit. Axe debuffs are Suppress and Petrify. Petrify, power gain and regeneration effects are -30% each. And then Suppress, defensive power rate is -20% each. So what I meant by that, it can't activate till the other one activates. So if you activate a Suppress debuff, it cannot activate again until you activate Petrify. So you can't get two Suppresses in a row, you can't get two Petrifies in a row. It has to be one or the other, and then, yeah, you get it. Then Hammer debuffs are Armor Break and Fragility. Same thing with them. You can't activate two Armor Breaks in a row, two Fragilities in a row. It goes Armor Break, Fragility, yeah. Armor Break. Armor rating -20% each. Fragility, block proficiency is -50% and gives Hulk +10% critical rating each. Each debuff lasts for 5 seconds plus 2 more seconds for each debuff Hulk activated throughout the fight, not including stun or parry. So once you get quite a few debuffs going, those debuffs last for a long time. Crowd Excitement, passive. Crowd Excitement increases by 5 each time either Hulk or his opponent lands a hit. You start out the fight at 50. Every special attack used in the fight by Hulk or his opponent gives +10% Crowd Excitement. Crowd Excitement falls constantly, falling faster the higher the excitement is. 50 Crowd Excitement is Hulk's baseline attack rating. Every 1 Crowd Excitement above 50 equals +0.5% attack rating. Every 1 below 50 is -0.5% attack rating. So every 2 crowd excitement is plus 1% attack rating. So once you get to 100 crowd excitement, that's plus 25% attack rating. And if you get down to 0 crowd excitement, that's minus 25% attack rating. Does that make sense? Yeah. Crowd excitement locks in at 100 for 7 seconds, plus 1 more second for every debuff active on the opponent. Crowd excitement resets back down to 70 once those seconds are over. Hammer and axe debuffs inflicted on the opponent stop crowd excitement from dropping for 1 second per debuff inflicted. So I was gonna word this like they pause the crowd excitement, but I don't wanna take away the ability to have the crowd excitement rise. I just wanna take away the ability for the crowd excitement to drop or fall, you know? So every hammer axe debuff, you can't, it doesn't fall. It can only rise for 1 second each, so yeah. Crowd excitement reaches 100, refresh all debuffs on the opponent, plus 5% debuff potency active for each debuff on the opponent. While crowd excitement is at 100, all of Hulk's attack smash. So smash. Attacks have 5% chance to smash, plus 5% more for every debuff active on the opponent for 1 second. This is outside of 100 crowd excitement. Every 15 seconds, Hulk triggers smash on his next attack for 1 second outside of 100 crowd excitement. Smash equals Hulk goes unstoppable and gains plus 25% attack rating. Smash purifies 1 active damaging debuff on Hulk and refreshes it into a passive, which then activates Face Me. So Hulk can purify any debuff that's inflicted upon himself, or that's inflicted upon a node, or that's inflicted upon the opponent. Once he gets Smash, or he reaches 100 crowd excitement, which then activates Smash, he purifies that debuff and turns it into a passive. So, and when you reach 100 crowd excitement, you have Smash active constantly until crowd excitement goes back down below 100. Heavy attacks. If this attack smashes, gain plus 25% attack and increase crowd excitement by 15. Refresh 1 random debuff on the opponent that was inflicted by Hulk. Face Me, passive. Hulk becomes enraged while suffering from cowardly passive damage over time effects. He gains plus 25% attack rating. Inflicts opponent with a taunt debuff, increasing the chance to throw special attack by 70%. He instantly regenerates 70% of damage taken from all sources. So this means recoil damage, debuffs, passive effects, everything. Versus Mystic Champs. Face Me activates when Hulk has a nullify or stagger effect. So Face Me also activates if a Mystic Champ inflicts a stagger or a nullify on Hulk, then he activates Face Me for as long as that stagger or nullify is active. Any buff that would be nullified on Hulk is refreshed as a passive buff with plus 50% potency. So if you're on a node that gives you Fury and a Mystic Champ tries to nullify that buff, it gets refreshed as a passive buff plus 50% potency of that original Fury buff. All hammer and axe debuffs have 20% potency and duration. Face Me effects is upgraded from 70% to 80% regeneration and upgraded from 25% attack rating to 40% attack rating. Face Me inflicts a power lock debuff on the opponent when it reaches 2.9 bars of power. I got that from Mephisto because you can put an Enervate on Mephisto, but it does not stop his passive power gain. Also, same thing with Mangog, he has passive power gain, and other Mystic Champs. So a special one, Hulk Smash Warhammer. Heal block for 10 seconds plus 1 second more for each debuff active on the opponent, not parry debuffs though. 100% chance to stun for 2 seconds if crowd excitement is 99 or less. 60% chance to stun for 2 seconds if crowd excitement is 100. So when you throw a special attack, you gain plus 10% crowd excitement. The 10 crowd excitement waits until special attack ends. So you don't get 10 crowd excitement right when you throw it, you get it afterwards. Reactivate every hammer debuff that was already inflicted throughout the fight, max 3 for each debuff. So hammer debuffs, that was the armor break and fragility. So if you put like 2 armor breaks and 1 fragility on the opponent throughout the fight, special 1 reactivates those 2 armor breaks and 1 fragility. So max, you can only have 3 armor breaks or 3 fragility on the opponent once you throw that special one. And special one also inflicts a bleed debuff on Hulk, dealing 5% of Hulk's max health over 10 seconds. It's a typo there. So that's where I got that inspiration from. Hulk is so strong he damages himself in battle. So special 1, special 2, and special 3 all inflict a bleed debuff on himself. But if he hits 100% excitement or he activates Smash, Smash purifies that debuff and turns it into a passive, which then activates Face Me. So that's how you activate Face Me from every single fight. Alright, special 2, Hulk Smash War Axe. 100% chance to power lock the opponent for 5 seconds, plus 1 more second for each active debuff on the opponent. So this was an Enervate, which just power locks their defensive power rate, but it doesn't power lock their offensive power rate, and it doesn't power lock their passive power gain or power gain buffs. So I upgraded that Enervate to a power lock debuff. 100% chance to stun for 2.5 seconds if crowd excitement is at 100. 60% chance to stun for 2.5 seconds if crowd excitement is 99 or less. Reactivate all axe debuffs that were inflicted throughout the fight, max 3 for each debuff. So the axe debuffs were suppress and petrify. So you get up to 3 suppress and up to 3 petrify at once. Alright. And then inflicts a bleed debuff on Hulk, dealing 5% of Hulk's max health over 10 seconds, just like the special 1. Special 3, Hulk Smash, Hammer, and Axe. Activated during Smash, gain plus 10% attack rating. Excuse me. Crowd excitement goes to 100. If you're already at 100, then refresh the timer. Reactivate all axe and hammer debuffs that were inflicted throughout the fight, max 3 each. So you inflict both the hammer and the axe debuffs when you hit the special 3. Inflict a trauma debuff on the opponent. Inflict plus 50% of damage dealt as physical damage, red numbers. So just like, what is it? Guardian. No, Red Guardian, the Russian version, yeah. So he does a trauma debuff. So however damage you do plus 50% more damage as red numbers, just like Red Guardian does. Alright, and then for 5 seconds, the trauma lasts for 5 seconds. Plus 1 more second and plus 5% more damage for each debuff active on the opponent. So if you have, it's a max of 3 each, so that's hammer and axe debuffs, that's 6. So what is that? That's, wait, no. Max 3 of each? That's 12! Oh, it's 12 debuffs, because you get 3 fragility, 3 armor break, 3 petrify, and 3 suppress. So that's 12. So it's that's 17 seconds, and plus 110% more damage as red numbers if you have all the debuffs maxed out at 3. That's gonna be crazy. I didn't realize how crazy that's gonna be. I don't know, that might be a bit too OP. I'm not too sure. Inflict a bleed debuff on Hulk, dealing 5% max health over 10 seconds. So the special 3 automatically activates Smash, because you get up to crowd excitement up to 100. So this debuff automatically turns into a passive as soon as the special 3 is over. Alright, his signature awakened ability. Grandmaster's, the Grandmaster's True Champion. Hulk reaches 20% health, gain passive regeneration buff, dealing 20% of total max health. If crowd excitement is 100, it's upgraded to 30% max health. And this is all based on abilities that the champion is Sig 200. If this is versus a Mystic champ, regen activated as a regular buff, not passive. I'll explain why this is important later. Opponent reaches 20% health. Hulk gains a passive Fury, plus 15% attack rating. If crowd excitement is 99 or below, upgraded to a plus 25% attack rating. Versus Mixed champs, the Fury activates as a regular buff, not passive. So you can activate both of these in the same fight. Once Hulk reaches 20% and once the opponent reaches 20%. Abilities are based on Sig level 200, yeah. Alright, and then of course Hulk is immune to all poison effects in the game. Alright, highlights. So this is like the big stuff that's highlighted in his abilities. Crowd excitement 100, equals plus 25% attack rating. Lasts for 1 additional second for each axe or hammer debuff on the opponent. So, and then 100% crowd excitement plus 5% axe and hammer debuff potency on the opponent for every debuff. So the debuffs will last longer once you're at 100 crowd excitement. 100 crowd excitement also means all attack smash, and smash means plus 25% attack rating. Special attacks inflict a bleed debuff on Hulk. Smash refreshes that debuff as a passive, which then activates Face Me. Face Me means plus 25% attack rating and heal all damage back by 70%, 80% and plus 40% attack if it's a mystic. Sig ability is plus 15 or 25% attack rating based on the certain. Face Me, crowd excitement at 100, signature ability and smash all together equals plus 100% attack rating. And then if you add on top of that, if you have a trauma debuff on the opponent, that's crazy. Those are crazy numbers. This would be the first Beyond God tier Hulk in the game, I think. Special 3 inflicts trauma debuff, which gets powered up by each debuff on the opponent. Yep, like I just said. Hulk's debuffs. So all of Hulk's debuffs, right now he has heal block, enervate, and stun. Now he has trauma, heal block, power lock, suppress, petrify, armor break, fragility, and stun. So he has a lot more now. And versus Mystic Champs, of course, Hulk's regen and fury is vulnerable to be nullified, just to have it refreshed as a passive with plus 50% potency. So earlier when I said versus Mystic Champs, any buff that would be nullified on Hulk is refreshed as a passive buff with plus 50% potency. So the awakened ability, instead of it being passive, it activates as a normal buff, which then gives Mystic Champs the chance to nullify it, and then if it gets nullified, it gets refreshed plus 50% extra potency. So that's why in his awakened ability, if you're versus a Mystic Champ, they activate as a regular buff, instead of passive. Any annoying Mystic power gain is shut down if Hulk has Face Me active, power locking the Mystic Champ right before they reach 3 bars of power, which he cannot do right now because it's just enervate, not power lock. Alright, so what do you guys think? Took me like a day or two to think of all these abilities and write it down and get it, how it's all going to work together in my head. I went through a couple different versions of his buff, but I think this one is the best. So it's not just an update. I think this is like a legit buff. This would like put him beyond God tier. The first Hulk. Because Immortal Hulk isn't beyond God tier. Red Hulk isn't beyond God tier. Oh wait, She-Hulk is beyond God tier, I think. So the first male Hulk is beyond God tier. So yeah. If you have any questions, put them in the comments. I think I explained everything pretty well. So yeah, tell me what you guys think. Kabam! If you see this by chance, let me know what you think. I spent a while on this buff, so I think it'll be badass. Thanks.